A new technical service bulletin for the 2025 Ioniq 5 manufactured here in the United States just crossed my desk, and it's a little concerning. This TSB is for the high voltage battery replacement. So in today's video, we'll go over the TSB and talk a little bit about it. So if you've been living under a rock, the Ioniq 5 for 2025 is now being manufactured in the state of Georgia here in the US. And up until around right now, they've been utilizing battery packs that were manufactured in Hungary. Now, Hyundai and Kia do have a battery plant coming online that was done in partnership with SK On, who makes their batteries in other plants around the world. But this is also going to be in Georgia, so the battery packs will be made in the USA, and they just travel down the highway a few miles, and then they show up at the factory and get popped in. So there's going to be a difference with Ioniq 5s for the 2025 model year, where some of them built have Hungarian batteries, and others will have US-built batteries. I'm not here to judge or anything. I don't know if a Hungarian or US-made battery is going to be higher quality, but there is going to be that difference. But it is a little concerning to me that Hyundai just released a technical service bulletin that basically says certain 2025 Ioniq 5s could potentially need their high voltage batteries replaced. So let's jump into it. So this is going to be TSB 25-EV-002H. And the title is HV, or High Voltage Battery Inspection and Replacement. So the description reads, certain 2025 model year Ioniq 5 NEA EV, those are the ones made in the US, vehicles may experience a charging issue where a voltage difference between battery cells prevents the high voltage battery from fully charging. The two DTCs, or diagnostic trouble codes, associated with the issue are P1AA700, which is abnormal performance cell voltage deviation, or P1AD300, battery abnormal performance, MISD. I don't know what MISD means. But then it goes on, if either of the DTCs listed above are identified in active status, follow the procedure outlined in this TSB to replace the battery system assembly. So BSA, that is the entire battery pack. So yeah, a little kind of scary that this car just came out within the last 4 or 5 months, and now we're finding out that high voltage battery packs may need to be replaced. I will be perfectly honest with you, I have not heard any reports from any of my fans or followers that have reached out to me saying that they had to have their high voltage battery replaced. Hyundai isn't saying in this TSB the number of potential units affected. They typically only do that when it is a full-blown safety recall, which if your battery is just not charging to 100%, it's not a safety issue, so it's never going to be a safety recall. But yeah, either way, it looks like this is going to apply to the small battery, the big batteries. So both new batteries, the 63 and the 84 kilowatt hour batteries. Scrolling through the rest of the TSB, you kind of go down, you can see the parts required for the replacement, 2 gallons of coolant, some bolts. So then going down a little bit further, we get to the steps that the technicians at the dealership will have to take in order to do this. They don't get into too many details in this TSB. They just redirect you to go to the service manual to find out how to remove and replace the battery. But basically, if you are having an issue where it seems like your car isn't charging to its full capacity, you would bring it in. They would plug in their diagnostic scan tool, or GDS as they call it, and they will scan the car for those trouble codes. So if they do find those trouble codes, they'll move on to step 3, which is replace the battery system assembly, and refer to the shop manual for more information on that. I'm not going to go over that. It's really actually pretty straightforward to replace the battery pack. It's a bunch of bolts, a high voltage connector, and then a coolant line, and basically it just drops out the bottom of the car. So a little bit about how batteries work. So in the case of the Ioniq 5, it's made up of lithium-ion pouch cells. So basically you have these like rectangular cells, they're stacked together and then they're compressed together to prevent expansion. Those are assembled into modules. The Ioniq 5 has 30 or 32 modules in its battery pack, depending on which battery size you go with. And basically, each of these modules has its own voltage. Each of those cells within that module has its own voltage. And if these voltages kind of get out of sync with each other, it can cause that module to not fully charge. The battery management system is doing something called balancing, where it will charge individual cells a little bit more. This to me sounds like it might be a manufacturing defect with a certain number of cells that just can't be balanced to get in line with the others. But going off the little information that's in this TSB, it sounds like that's probably what the issue is. I'm not putting out this video to stoke fear or anything. Your battery is most likely fine. Until I hear or see reports of this happening, I'm not going to come out and say, oh my God, this is something you really have to worry about. But let's talk about how you could kind of identify whether you are having an issue. So the best way to kind of determine whether your battery pack is having issues is to use something like this, which is a Bluetooth OBD2 dongle, which plugs into the OBD2 port of your car, and then you can just connect it to your phone with an app like Car Scanner. I have a whole video on how to utilize this tool. I will leave a link in the description and up above right now. But basically, this is going to allow you to get all sorts of data from the car that you otherwise can't because it's just not customer facing in the car's software. So what you would want to do is drive the car down to a pretty low state of charge, think 10% or lower, and then charge it back up to 100%. And then you're going to plug this in, get it all set up as I show in that video, and then you will be able to look and see what your remaining energy in the battery pack is. For a brand new 2025 Ioniq 5, if you have the long range, should be around 79, 80 kilowatt hours. Car Scanner defaults to watt hours, so multiply that number by 1,000, so around 79, 80,000 watt hours. For the small battery pack, it's probably going to be around 58, 59,000 watt hours. I did this test right after I got my 2025 Ioniq 5, and it's right at around 79 kilowatt hours of usable energy. I have to specify usable because the gross battery capacity is more than that. And you can see that kind of by the state of charge listed by the car's battery management system, says 95%, and it's indicating 100%. So that means that there's a 5% buffer of extra energy because you don't ever want to charge a battery to its theoretical 100% or discharge it to its theoretical 100% level. That's not good for battery health. So it does keep a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom to kind of prevent any issues from happening. So those are the two numbers you would want to look for with these cars. If you do see something that's way low, if you see, I don't know what it would even be, 75 or lower on the big battery and I don't know, 50 on the small battery, yeah, that'd be reason to be concerned. With spring kind of getting into full swing here and temperatures rising, this number might actually be higher in the summertime. I did do this test when it was still winter and kind of cold out. And as batteries do warm up, they do hold more energy. So it's likely that that number might be closer to like 80 or 81 kilowatt hours. So I might actually rerun this test once it's a little bit warmer out to see what the kind of summer battery capacity looks like. This is the V-Peak. This is the one that I use in all my cars. It works really well, connects really quickly. I've had zero issues with it. I actually just bought a second one so I can keep one in each of my cars instead of having to juggle them back and forth. These are about $25 on Amazon. I'll have a link to that below if you're interested in picking one up. Beyond just checking your battery capacity, this is really great for other critical things like knowing your battery's temperature. The 2025 Ioniq 5 does tell you whether your battery pack is low temp, adequate temp, or high temp, but it doesn't give you a numerical readout, which is unfortunate because I would like to know the exact number of what the battery pack's temperature is at. So with this little device, you can connect it to your phone, and actually Car Scanner recently released a iOS app. So if you do use CarPlay in your car, you can have that temperature right in CarPlay. It's really useful. I used it a lot when I road tripped back from Colorado with the 2025. It's much more seamless than how it used to be, where you would have to actually open up your phone and go into Car Scanner to look for what the temperature is. I'm not sure, but I think it's the same situation on Android Auto as well. Now, if you really want to get into the weeds, there is all sorts of battery cell information that you can view in Car Scanner. You can actually see like the deviations in battery cell voltages, which is what this TSB is addressing. If you really want to go that deep, have at it. I'm not going to tell you what to look for because I don't know exactly what to look for. Hyundai's scan tool is going to have that number built into it, so it's going to be able to say, oh, this deviation is greater than X, so we've got a problem. So that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to put this information out there. Maybe you are having issues with your battery pack. It's good to know that you can go into your dealership, get it tested, and obviously, if it is found, they will replace the battery pack under warranty. It is covered completely under Hyundai's pretty good warranty. And again, not here to stoke fear, but having this kind of information in the back of your head, if an issue does ever pop up, you can say, hey, I think Corbin might have talked about that once. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Check out my store, ioniqguy.com, for accessories for your Hyundai, Kia, or Genesis EV. I've got all sorts of stuff for the new car. And I did just finally get around to designing some new wheel magnets for the 2025 Ioniq 5. We've got the 19-inch wheels, the 20-inch wheels. I'm getting bugged by Ioniq 5N owners for not having anything in my store, so here's the Ioniq 5N wheel. The 2024 19-inch and 20-inch wheels. I've got both wheels for the Ioniq 6 now, and I also made wheels for the Kia EV6 as well. So I've got a fat stack of wheels here with your guys' name on it. Check them out at my store at ioniqguy.com. Consider becoming a channel member for as little as 99 cents per month. For $3 per month, you can get early access to all my videos, as well as a 5% discount to my store. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.